Hello. It's a pleasure to have you again on the program. And of course, this program still remains the polity that comes your way from KAFTAN television. Well, this is Abuja, right? But then we are everywhere because the important thing is that we want to make sure that you're reached effectively. Because we're reaching you not just from Abuja, from Lagos, as well as from Korea. So we'll make sure that we're reaching out very well to you. And today, just like other days, we'll look for something that affects the polity. We'll talk about that and find out how the good, and if there's any bad, we'll also discuss the bad, and if there's an ugly part, we'll just like that part too, so that at the end of the day, we'll have something better for the polity. And so this day, like every other day, same will happen. We'll be looking at something special this time, or an organization that is a different one. And that's talking about the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC. Today we'll be discussing what has to do with the Federal Road Safety Corps. We want to look at it, but then don't forget, of course, I want to know, I believe, of course, that you do know, but in case you need to be refreshed, we want to say that Federal Road Safety Commission is Nigeria's lead agency responsible for road safety and traffic management as far as Nigeria is concerned. And they have done that work and done it creditably. If I use the word excellently, some people may say I am saying more than I should, but then I think it's right for me to say things like that. So road safety in Nigeria is what we want to look at today and see what it has to do with us. And of course, the road safety does enforcement, that is enforcing traffic laws. Road safety does promotion, that is talking about promoting road safety. Road safety does managing emergencies as well as licensing vehicles and the licensing of human beings too, because they have both a vehicle license and they have license for the vehicle that you're driving. Well, a lot more will happen. We'll talk about all these and a lot more as we discuss. But I wouldn't forget to let you know that I have someone that is also the person you will say it is his duty to talk about it. That's why he's here today with me on the program. Mainly because of the fact that if there is anything the public needs to know about the road safety, it is in his office that it will happen. I'm talking about the assistant Corps Marshal, a member of the National Institute, someone that is the public education officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, and he is Olusegun Ogungbemide. It's good to have you on the program, sir. It's
a pleasure. Happy to be with you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I have tried to do a little, just a little, because I know I didn't want to go into an extensive explanation of road safety because, I mean, when the one that's in charge of educating people on that is here, why should you do me saying it?
Thank
So
you.
I don't know. I just gave a tip. Can you tell us more about the FRSC in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. FRSC, like we all know, came into existence in specifically on the 18th of February, 1988, which in the next few days will be 38 years.
Okay.
As an interventionist, having realized the rate of road traffic crashes that was becoming an embarrassment to the nation. Prior to the establishment of Federal Road Safety Corps, Nigeria was rated as the number 5 country in the entire world after Ethiopia with the highest rate of road traffic crashes. And it was quite a bad one for some of us that are of age. You recall in those days, I think the most popular newspaper then was Daily Times.
Yes.
And when you look at the pages of Daily Times in those days, half of the pages were actually for obituary as a result of road traffic crashes. And it became so embarrassing that the government of the day, under the leadership of General Ibrahim Babangida, in the conjunction with some best brains, making reference to Professor Wole Soyinka in particular, came together and said there's need for an intervention to reduce the rate of carnages on our highway. So eventually we were created after the decree, under the Establishment Act 2007, with some major responsibilities, which we have been able to mention some. We talk of enforcement, we talk of educating members of the public, we talk of, we go into research, we talk of engineering, that's giving advice to necessary agencies as regards the activities on the highway and the roads in particular. And majorly, which I think you are, let me place it in a proper perspective in the area of driver's license and number plates. Yes, number plates. We are mandated to design and to produce in both the driver's license and number plate for the populace. We are customers to the government, not to the motoring public. So we design and produce for the states who now interface with the motoring public. So I think it's here out of loyalty and respect and trust that members of the public believe that, oh, FRSC is the custodian of number plate and driver's license. So it's, and I think we give kudos to us for attaining that height. And outside that, we do what we call road survey, where we have a view of the status of the roads and the areas that need necessary attention. We don't do roads, but we pass our information across to the appropriate quarters too for the necessary intervention. These are a few of the interventions that we have as an establishment that we have been existing with in the last 38 years.
Okay. That's a huge one, and that's a beautiful and great one, I must say. Looking at the years, I want us to, because now you're talking about 38 years.
Exactly.
Looking at, if you want to say it this way, looking back from 1988 when it started up to this point in time, would you say that it's been made better, or, I mean, your services, or is still the same the way it was from the beginning? Is it still the same thing, or has there been any form of improvement in the services of road safety in Nigeria?
If I'm given the opportunity to do my analysis via evolution of FRSC, let's start from where we were before 1988, where we recorded an average of 42,000 deaths annually, despite the lower population then, maybe less than 100 million as a population, to where we are today. As at the last counts, when they called Marshal Shehu Mohammed, MNI was giving the analysis of our activities in 2025, last week in the office. We recorded an average of 5,000 deaths in 2025. So when you look at 42,000, where we were before 1988 to where we are now, I think there's a lot of improvements. And I always want Nigeria to judge from the angle of imagination. Just imagine that the FRSC is not existing. What will have been the life of people at the time here? For the major example is the situation that is happening in Lagos now at the Kara end of the express, both inward and outward Lagos. You imagine without Federal Road Safety Corps, what will have happened? You imagine without Federal Road Safety Corps, what will have happened to the deaths that will have littered the highway? Because if you're talking of agencies today, Federal Road Safety Corps is the major stakeholder when it comes to assisting, which I actually left out, which is one of the major functions of FRSC, rescue and removal of obstruction. What will have happened if FRSC is not existing? Because prompt removal of obstruction, has assisted a great deal. We have improved over the years because we are, by virtue of the support of the federal government, we have a lot of equipment that have assisted us, both the light and heavy duty tow trucks, that promptly, when there are obstructions, they are removed, and it has actually alleviated the pains of motoring public. And the rescue too, over the years we have improved. I recall when we started, reaching out to FRSC to even inform them that we are having crisis on our road could be a major problem, because it's either someone is looking for where road safety office is to pass the information, or someone is not just interested. But with the support of technology improvement over the years, we now have the tow truck and tow line 122, free tow line 122, where at the point of every crash, you can call that tow line. Is 24 hours operation, and under 15 minutes, FRSA operatives are expected to be at the scene. So technology has really assisted greatly over the years in giving us the current improvements that Nigerians are witnessing in FRSC.
Okay. If you look at something that used to happen, we used to know about highway patrol. The highway patrol team, it belonged to the Nigeria police.
Exactly.
Until the creation of the FRSC. And I don't know what word to use, but I could say that section was taken away from the police and handed over to the FRSC. Though not completely, because I know that the police force is still able to still patrol some ways, because there are certain things you look out for when you as FRSC will do your patrol on some highways, and there are some other things that the Nigeria police will look out for when they are doing their own parade patrol, because the Federal Road Safety, I believe, looks out for accident scenes or accidental vehicles that may be blocking the way, or any other thing like that, or anything that may cause accident. You do the best you can to curb it. But the Nigeria police, in their case, will be looking out for criminals and any form of criminality on the way, and looking at it. Is there any way you can say that there is, or you would say that there is a clash of duties, even after there has been this separation of duties?
When you say there's a separation of duty, I wouldn't want to align with your belief that the function of highway patrol was actually taken away from police and handed over to FRSC. Like I mentioned earlier, our coming to existence was just more of an intervention, where, maybe you also rightly confirmed that police were majorly concerned about security. Why still there? And I still believe they are still there.
They are still there.
And when the rate of road traffic crashes was getting higher, it was necessary for another body that could be more focused on the area of road safety, which was more of intervention to reduce the rate of infractions on our roads, which we eventually will have led to that's road traffic crashes. I used to say this, that every infraction that is nipped on the board by Federal Road Safety Corps is an indirect way of stopping a crash from happening. For example, we recorded, I think, about 650,000 infractions. That's arrested 650,000 offenders in 2024. And when you look at the number of offenses, they were close to 700,000, which is an indication that we have stopped about 650,000 vehicles from getting involved in road traffic crashes. Because every crash you record on that road is as a result of an omission of the driver, which, if it's lucky, we are able to stop before it gets to the point of a crash. These are the things the federal government saw and said, well, let's create a body that will be more focused so that the Nigerian police can concentrate better in the area of security, which I think has really helped us. So we have more of collaboration and partnership under the recent status now, where even when we have crisis in the course of our duty, we do run to them as the higher partner in giving us that security backing. And the last 38 years, I've never seen anywhere where we had crash or clash over areas of overlapping of function. Everybody understands what the Act says and what the Constitution says about their responsibilities. And this is what we have been doing.
Okay. There has been this agreement or understanding that has existed between you and the Nigeria Police Force, and it has worked out in the best interest of the commuters, in the best interest of the citizens, because we found out that, you know, one beautiful thing, when someone is on the road these days, or it's been happening for a while, when someone is on the road and then he looks and sees your vehicle, sees that blue and white vehicle,
yes,
he seems to be kind of get relaxed that, oh, thank God, at least there is a kind of check that is on this way.
Exactly.
So they get to feel better. And also, those ones who are involved in negativity, they also feel jittery. They get jittery because they know that someone will come against them if they go on to do wrong. So they get serious and do the right thing. So I think your presence has gone a long way in helping to see that lives are saved and property not entirely destroyed. Property this time, like vehicles, of course, they are property and all the things in them. But then we also want to see if there will be a way that we'll have like your ambulances everywhere. Though, of course, 112 or 122. 122 still exists and does work.
Yes.
But considering the vast, the huge number of people that we have in our country today, that's talking about the population, do you see the ambulance services, I mean, going there now, as something that will be improved upon, or that's what is already okay for the roads in Nigeria, in addition to the ones that are yet to be constructed, including the Onitsha, Calabar, superhighway?
The superhighway. Thank you very much. The area you actually entered now is the one that has been the point of passion for the Corps Marshal.
Yeah.
And we have not gotten it wrong all this while.
Yes.
Because when we're talking of enforcement, like I rightly mentioned, that rescue happened to be another major line of duty that FRSC has really improved. And if you look at the emergency units in Nigeria today, you can give it as thumb up to a Federal Road Safety Corps. I was giving the analysis of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway recently when the issue of Anthony Joshua came on board, and people were trying to castigate that there were no ambulances at the point and what have you. I said, what they failed to realize that the most fortified corridor, we have about 47 corridors in the entire federation as distributed by Federal Road Safety Corps. And the most fortified was Corridor 1, which is Lagos-Ibadan Express. Right from Ojota, you have an ambulance point controlled by FRSC. At Kara, you have an ambulance point. At Mowe, you have an ambulance point. At Shagamu, Ogere, Ogumakin, till you get to Iwo Road roundabout. So we have close to 6 ambulance points. And when we mention the toll-free line of 122, the responsibility of that toll-free line is to reach out to all these ambulance points and our patrol team, so that at the point of every crash, by proximity, there's always an ambulance point that is close by, or a patrol vehicle that is close by. And in addition to the ambulance point, we have our roadside clinic that attends to emergencies in case there's any crash. These ones are running pari passu with other intervention points. And we also have the zebra points The zebra point is an intervention point where we have the ambulance stationed. We call it the zebra point, and it's on all our major routes and corridors. So, but because I don't know, despite all what we have given in form of advocacy as regards the effective use of the 122, at times some Nigerians claim to be ignorant. Virtually all our patrol vehicles, you see it written there. You know, at times people think about what interests them, and that is the major issue, because no matter how well distributed these ambulances are, when they lack information, you can still see a crash happening beside an ambulance. And if the information is not passed across, innocent people will just be there and bleed to death. And that is what I know. It can never be enough, because if they give us the opportunity today, we'll still say we need more because of the wideness of our road network. But the one we have are effectively positioned, and they are performing that role that has assisted in saving lives, in line with the number 5 United Nations Decade of Action pillar that say post-crash care for road traffic crash victims.
Okay. Post-crash care for road traffic crash victims. So from what you have said, it shows you are taking good care of that one now. Though definitely it will get better, just as you said. It can get better with more provision of the amenities required for it. Now, that is looking at one. Then let's look at another. There are some other beautiful things that the road safety has been doing, which we'll need to talk about. Like, I think what you have just called Operation Zero is part of it. But I know that there have been Share the Road initiatives some time ago. And there have been some others too, apart from Share the Road, be vigilant, be safe, and so many others. So like each period you create one, after a while you get another one, and another, and another. How successful have these things been, looking at them generally speaking?
Yes, each operation has a purpose. We call it intelligence patrolling, which is as a result of the analysis of the various data that is made available to us. Like when we had Operation Scorpion, that was an operation that was put in place to tackle the menace of articulated vehicles. Prior to the commencement of Operation Scorpion, we were having tankers falling. We were having containers rolling over vehicles.
Do bear with me, sir.
Yes.
I need to say something. Tell us what articulated vehicles are.
Okay. Articulated vehicles are trucks in various sizes, depending on the wheels. But they are the trucks that's a common word that is being used to define them or to identify them. They are trucks. When they are carrying wet cargoes, they are called tankers. And when they are carrying dry cargoes, they are the normal either flatbed, articulated vehicles, like I rightly said. And we were having a series of crashes involving them. And that was what led to the introduction of Operation Scorpion, that every truck that is not fit to be on the road should be kept off the road. And we had Operation Scorpion 1, Scorpion 2, which is an indication that we didn't succeed fully in the Scorpion 1, so we had to extend it to 2. But today, we can boast that there's a measure of sanity on our road. When people react, when there are crashes involving tanker, at times I look at the reaction as being misplaced, but at the same time you don't blame them, because a single crash that leads to inferno and claim so many lives would generate a lot of interest. But when you look at the thousands
and sentiment,
when you look at the thousands of tankers that ply Nigerian roads on daily basis, and you ask yourself, which organization is really managing this enormous task? But unfortunately, when one occurs, many sentiment, like you rightly said, will be generated. But a lot of policies have been put in place that has assisted in curtailing. Virtually, the road will have been very difficult to ply if it's been all commerce affair. We introduced what we call Operation Safe to Load. Safe to Load came as a result of our inability and because of the hazard involved, running after tankers and trucks on the highway. A loaded tanker, if there's any explosion today, look at the experience of Jigawa, where we lost close to 200 people because they were trying to scoop fuel. So we now felt, rather than running after vehicles that are loaded on the highway, is there no way we can curb this incident right from the root? That was what prompted the introduction of Operation Safe to Load. And what's the concept about? Is that before this vehicle is loaded, it must be able to meet up with this minimum safety standard. We have a standard. We have maximum safety standard, which by virtue of our nation's economy or the poverty level, it becomes so difficult for us to sustain that maximum safety standard unless you want to, totally kill the transportation business in Nigeria. So we now say, while we are waiting for us to get to that stage, let us create a minimum safety standard that at least you are expected to have this for you to be able to move safely on the highway. So what we do, we had collaboration with all the stakeholders, both the upstream and downstream transport engagers. We now say, okay, before you load any of these vehicles, this vehicle must meet up with this safety standard. So we have our operatives in virtually, I think we have close to 170 depots in Nigeria today where loadings are being conducted. And we have our operatives there where they check the vehicle before they are allowed to come out. Most crashes you see are not mostly from the depot. Then what they do, they use a good vehicle that meets up with the safety standard to load, and when they get outside, they transload. And that's the major problem we're having, which we've also tried in support, with the support of other agencies, to curb in line of our enforcement. And outside that, Operation Target Zero or Zero Tolerance is an intervention that comes up during the Hemba months. It's always targeted at 15th December to 15th January, which we believe is the peak period of movement. At times, human nature will operate from January till December. Is when we want to get to December, we remember there are some things we have not done. And it's not just about upsurge in the activities. People still from diaspora, they come into the country. And you also agree with me that it's within this period that so many programs and ceremonies are fixed, because they believe everybody will have converged. So it translates into higher vehicular movements on the highway. And when there are higher vehicular movements uncoordinated, it leads to chaotic situation that will eventually lead to a series of crashes. This we've realized over the years. So how do we solve this? When we are getting to this season, we up our games too, to meet up with the demands of the highway. And that's why we call it Operation Zero Tolerance. It's quite an ambitious one, but it has assisted over the years. At least globally, it is also agreed or accepted that it's not possible for a nation not to record road traffic crashes. But what we are working towards is to reduce fatality. Minimize it and reduce fatality. And that's what we have done over this. So series of, like recently in FCT here, when we're having issues with traffic lights being beaten by virtually all status. It's not just about commercial alone. Even the men you feel should understand better, who are more exposed, more advanced, they still commit the same due to as a result of impatience. We also put some special operations in place. It might not really be sustained, but it sends the signal to members of the public that we know what is happening and we are out to tackle it. So it has really assisted a great deal in assisting our job to hit that target.
Okay, there's something I want to also bring up here immediately. Talking about translating vehicles, goods from one good approved vehicle to another that's neither good nor approved. It's one problem. But then there is this other thing that I should think is a problem. I don't know what you think about it. That we keep seeing many use the word underaged drivers in these big
trucks.
Vehicles, these trucks, yes. And I will keep wondering, whose duty is it to ensure that such people do not ride these vehicles and drive them on the roads the way we see? Because their reasoning may not be so good.
Yes.
But you see, we find them. In most cases that you find accidents, really, most of those people driving these vehicles are, most of the time, young boys, 17, 16, 18. And you know, one thing about these boys from the north, I must say, they are quite tall. And so because of the height, they think that because I have grown tall, I have come of age, I should start operating these big vehicles. Is there anything the FRSC can do to help so that we'll be sure that before anyone gets into these things, let it be that the fellow is up to age, has come of age, and someone can reason better than just being a child?
We are not unmindful of this, and it's one of the major disturbing trends that FRSC has tried to tackle over the years, which has really prompted some introduction of policies to curb it. As I'm seated here, I'm sure you can guess my age.
No, yes.
Which happen to be one of the major complex aspects of it.
Life.
Because it's only the parents that can say, this is the year I gave birth to this child, unless he produces his birth certificate. And
in most of these cases, they don't
you even have affidavits all over the places, and by law we are expected to accept it. So it becomes a very critical aspect of our job, that what we felt we could do better. The average age that is allowed to ply the road as a licensed driver is 18 years for private saloon vehicles. And we translated with another policy just to be able to curb this problem we just discussed now, to say before you can translate to becoming a commercial driver, you must attain the age of 26.
Okay.
So, and you also have to go through some processes where you get your medical paper, you get your psychological evaluation, and you must belong to a union, so that in case there's any problem, you are not just alone. We can reach out to a union. Yes, who will be the kind of umbrella to be able to give details about you. And that's the standard we have. Well, you agree with me that, like I said, we have a road network of about 200 and something thousand, and it's not possible for FRSC to cover the entire road network. Even if we do route lining, we can't meet up. And that's why we relate more with the union. But every nation where the law has succeeded must always be with the collaboration of the citizen. And I think that's a watchword for us here. How come that a man that is licensed to drive, elderly man, decide to pick an underage person as a motorboy? And anytime he feels he's tired, he hands over the key. It's not that he's determined or committed to a training that you say, okay, this where they train this person before he started driving. They learn how to drive by looking at their master. And at the end of the day, the master will be sleeping somewhere, say, go and line up at the depot. And this is a boy that is not committed. This is a boy that is not yet responsible by virtue of the age. This is a boy that, because driving is not just about igniting the kick and moving on the highway. It entails a lot of intrigues. And when you encounter these intrigues, if you are not experienced, especially when you are driving such bogus vehicle, it becomes a problem. And every crash involving these trucks or articulated vehicle is always very devastating. And that's why we dwell more on advocacy, because we know how many enforcement can you make. You just spoke the other time when you say our presence on the highway will send signal, create safety and security. But when you see a truck that is moving on the highway with close to 100 children or passengers on it, and you have your men that are just 5 in a vehicle without any harm, what can they do? Because the essence of harm is to send signal to them that there is danger, even when it is not to attack them or to harass them.
Yes.
But it's there to protect the operatives on the highway and to also send signal of safety to road users. Because anytime I have reason to travel by the road and I see a police vehicle parked by the roadside, there's this measure of comfort that is in me, that at least this space is secured. And at times when we move long length without anybody, you feeling, you know, that's apprehension that this area is not quite safe.
Yes.
So that's the message we are passing to Nigerians, that you don't even know the importance of having a well-secured road safety operatives to complement the presence of police and other agencies on the highway. When the space is safe for all of us, there's no criminal that will want to come to the space and create problem when he's not sure of any escape or who to be attacked first. So these are the things we feel we can do better. And we've also tried to engage their union too, because virtually one way or the other, they're under one union or the other too, to say underage driving has created most of the problems we have on our highway. Assist us to win this battle by making sure that you do your own bits. We have put policy in place. If they go through driving school, all these questions will be asked. How old are you? Show evidence.
Yes.
But how many percentage of people that are using Nigerian roads today can beat their chest that they actually passed through driving school? So these are the issues we have at hand. It's a continuous battle, and I'm sure we are going to get there with more enlightenment.
Driving school. There are supposed to be people who are instructors in these driving schools.
You're right.
But I don't know. Are there still effective driving schools the way they used to be years back? Because what I see these days, I mean, having gone through a lot, you just see one small place they call a driving school where they have just two small cars, the two small old vehicles they use to train their people, and all they try to do most of the time is to, just because they have the name driving school, to use it as an avenue through which people can get their driver's licenses and maybe get plates for their number plates and all that. And they hardly train people on driving these days, and that's one thing I keep asking. Why is it so? Is it because of the fact that, or maybe is it because of the fact that the driving of these days is automatic vehicles where you don't do gear 1, gear 2, gear 3 effectively? Why is it so that people are not well trained anymore? Because it affects driving too, sir.
You're right. Even if the vehicle happens to be a self-driving vehicle, that you just sit and it's moving you, you still need
to have an idea,
measures of trading for you to be able to manipulate. And I had a brother that told me, an uncle, that said he never attended any driving school. And he just learned by watching others drive. And I said, you have just been lucky to be alive today.
Exactly.
Because even you see people with these commercial drivers that will tell you they've been driving for the past 40 years.
5 years.
But one particular day, he got involved in a crash and is gone. So we were very much aware of all these, abnormalities in that aspect, in that area of road safety. And that was what prompted the introduction of driving school standardization scheme by Federal Road Safety Corps. You see that there's always solution to every infraction, because it's an indication that it's a research-oriented establishment where we don't just dwell on our success. We continue to improve. When we notice gaps, we also come up with policies to fill this gap. So what we did is, when we noticed that people were just turning out on half-baked drivers. Some would just pay, they don't do anything.
They will just collect
the money, they will just collect, forward the certificate to them and what have you. We now say, let us create a standard. That before you can be, there were so many driving schools that were closed down, that we created a template for them. These are the things you are supposed to have as a driving school. When you can't meet up with this, please stay off the market. Because the rudiments of every crash that happened on that highway could be as a result of failure of a particular driving school. So we know it could start from there. So that's what we did. And it has helped. Annually, we have workshop for instructors and proprietors of driving school. Because annually we develop syllabus, what we want them to pass across to their applicants. But what amazes me is when our people go outside the country, they abide by their rules. They celebrate it. They boast with it. That if you go to UK, at times you could spend years because of the rigors of going through their training and passing their exams. They celebrate it. But when they come here, the same person will want to get our driver's license under 24 hours because they believe everything goes here. And when they now see the strictness, they start condemning our own system. So these are the things that we need to really balance. But it will not deter us from sustaining the policy we put in place, because we know that anytime we talk about reduction in road traffic crashes on the highway, go back to driving school. Something reasonable, something remarkable must have happened there for us to achieve this. So we have a standard driving school system now, and it is on our website if you want to know those that are recognized by FRSC, because intermittently we go on supervision and inspection of those driving schools to make sure that they are still maintaining the standard. So that if you are in need of any driving school, just go to the website, check it out, know the one that by proximity is closer to you, and get there. If there are things that you notice that are not right, you also have the right to contact us. And that's the kind of feedback we're expecting from members of the public. Okay,
that's good. We have seen all these, and to me, it's all on the positive. It's all on the positive. But I want to ask this other question. Members of the Federal Road Safety Corps, when they are on the expressway and on the roads, wherever it is, and they are operating, there could be, once in a while, there could be some fatalities on their own part. What does the FRSC do when it happens to their own staff?
To their own staff. It's pathetic.
Yes.
And it has been happening over the years. Even this last year, we lost about 120 staff.
Oh, what a pity.
And more than 50% of those deaths were as a result of what you just mentioned.
Yes.
In the course of carrying out their job, they got knocked down. Some were by omission, while some were deliberate.
Yes.
Because I happen to be a product of the same road, where a driver will tell you, I will knock you down. And he will go for it. If you are not smart enough, or if God is not on your side.
Yes.
And at times, you could be so unlucky, the man loses control innocently, and you turn out to be the target. So what we normally do is we have what we call pre-patrol brief, where we tell our men that their safety is quite paramount. Because if you are not safe, you cannot keep the road safe for others. You also agree with me that the system of enforcement is quite delicate. People do complain that we go on the center of the road to stop vehicles, but there's no rocket science to enforcement.
Yes.
The law says at the point of raising my hands,
that
you have to stop. Even if you have not gone to Western world, you watch films, a little movement of the siren, as long as it's behind you, you park for them to come and do their job. But what do you see here is contrary. The moment you see the siren, they take off. so
very high speed for that matter, committing another crime before
they even mention the primary offense you committed. And when what they do is the game they play that has really weakened enforcement in Nigeria today, which I'm sorry to say, is a game of blackmail.
Okay.
Oh, when they pursue us, they cause crash. Nobody wants to be conscripted.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody just wants to have a free day to do whatever they like. So, and this issue of knocking down our men has nothing to do with the kind of clothes you are wearing. Woe betide you when you look at that man behind the steering as a gentleman because he's wearing suit. You'll be so surprised with the kind of person he's made of. So we tell them, we advise them that since the caliber of people we are dealing with in Nigerian space don't have respect for the law that says when you raise your hand, please always be conscious of what you are doing when you know it is not safe. Because that's the essence of technology now.
Yes.
We have the National Vehicle Identification Scheme in place where all the data of the vehicles that are legally registered in Nigeria are under our custody. So rather than running after that vehicle, just get the details. We have gotten so many of them that are flagged down, and even those that did eat and run, as long as we're able to get the details, we don't need to pursue you. You can't just run forever from justice. It will always catch up with you. We felt so much pain. But if we are there to save them, and we are also, victims, I think it's quite unfair and it's quite pathetic. And this idea of trying to blackmail the system in order for them to have their way, they don't know the implication of what they are doing to this nation. Because when the law enforcement agencies are weak, it's still the members of the public that
will suffer for it on a serious note.
You might think you are the one that have your way. Tomorrow it might be against you. If somebody knocks down your child, and FRSC cannot go after that vehicle to stop the vehicle for him to be brought to justice, then it's a total loss in vain. So these are the things we want to also use this platform to speak to members of the public. These people that are out there working, they are working for your safety. They are mothers, they are fathers, they are children to somebody. And there's every need for us to protect them. Because any loss that we record on that highway is your tax. Because it's your tax they use in training that person.
Yes.
It's your tax that will also be used in managing the debt and taking care of the families that are left behind. So, and outside that, the emotional trauma that the families and even friends are going to pass through is a huge one.
Okay, I want to say something fast, lest I forget. Just recently, there was this vehicle, this tanker, that was involved in an accident. It fell. That's in Lagos. Okay. And then it just hung by the side of the road. And it was on a flyover. And then people were down, on the road down, and they were even not just only scooping, they will carry basins and buckets and come and stand, and the fuel will be pouring, and they will carry and be moving. So many of them, I saw this, I said, are we still in this kind of age in this country and in such a place as Lagos?
Yes.
I shed tears, honestly, after watching that. And I said, well, one day I will find out how someone I will tell about it. And thank goodness I'm here with you.
Thank you.
Please, sir, what can happen to prevent people from getting so crude, so archaic, that they are, even in this century, in this time and age, in the city called Lagos, doing this sort of thing?
Yes, the analysis of our data in the 2024 recorded about close to 6,000 deaths, and you'll be so surprised that close to 700
was as a result of
this issue you just mentioned. If we say we lost close to 200 people at Jigawa, that was the latest before we entered the new year.
Yes.
We entered into a kind of slogan, which I think some other TV stations also supported us too, in reaching out to members of the public on the dangers involved in scooping. And we just entered the new year. It's still repeating itself. Do we attribute it to greed? Do we attribute it to poverty? Do we attribute it to sheer ignorance? I think what really assisted
and I want
those
to
people.
add, do we attribute it to stupidity?
Stupidity. Because what really played out that day was they were lucky that it's diesel.
Okay, so it's diesel. PMS.
PMS rather.
Yeah.
They were so lucky that it's diesel, because at every ignition,
I can come up.
fire. It's not that it can ordinary smoke from a distance can ignite the entire environment. And look at the huge number of people. And the unfortunate thing is, thank you very much, adults. Do you know the Jigawa zone involved about 3 villages? It happened very late at night. People were waking their siblings and children to come and sit down. That's why I think one of the officials that went there said, this is not the line for condolences. This is the line to say these people were criminal. They were there to steal another man's property.
Yes.
Rather than sympathizing with whoever that must have got involved in that loss, you were stealing his property. So nemesis do come to play. So we cannot, because naturally the Jigawa issue, the law enforcement agencies were overwhelmed. Because we were talking about 200 people and you have about 10 law enforcement, what would they do?
Oh, there's nothing they
the
can
same
do.
thing in Lagos, because even you'll be so scared of getting caught up.
Yes.
If there's any inferno, so you need to be careful too.
Yes.
You can only talk from a distance. That's why we say the only thing we can do is to engage, stakeholders, conversation, advocacy, to continue to talk to these members of. Let me tell you, even if it happens again tomorrow,
will still get out there to do
people
it.
will still go
Whether Lagos or Abuja,
it doesn't matter the place. It's
wherever.
human. It's just human issue. It's just human issue. So insensitive, and it's not. And more than 50% of the people you are seeing, they don't even have motorcycle.
I wonder.
The only thing is, I've seen a wolf money. Let me go and make money from
it.
Is at the detriment of your
lives.
So that's just that's the situation as regards that, and we continue till yesterday. We are still having jingles on our national traffic radio, telling members of the public that when such occur, which can always happen, what is expected of you as a road user or motoring public is to run far away from that scene and allow the agencies to do their job.
How much is it that you can get out of it? The highest you can get out of all that is, let's just make it up, is 10 million naira, which is impossible. But let's assume that is what they will get, each of them. So what is 10 million naira?
The union have one slogan. This downstream union, they have one slogan. There is no amount of profits you are going to make from this oil that can be compared to your life lost. And that has been their guiding principle in sustaining safety in that particular sector.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. It's been wonderful sharing the moments with you. We're not done. We'll still have to go on to talk a little more. But I would just want to ask for a brief break. And this is because of the fact that we want to open our phone line for our viewer that will be interested in saying something. But then if not, we'll continue our discussion, believing that all we have said is all you want to hear. So there's no need making that call. And so we'll just knock off, that is, take this break for just a brief while. And we'll come back with the phone line for you to call. But don't forget, it's federal road safety we're discussing today. And of course, with the head of the education sector here with us to educate us on the activities of this organization. We'll continue. good to have you back again, and we're still here. It's still the same talk, and I believe you're enjoying every bit of it. Still, the program remains the polity, road safety in Nigeria. That's the major topic we have got today to talk about. And as I did say, I've got someone that is here with me that will help us, talking about the public education officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Olusegun ACM, of course. I won't forget that. I won't forget that. The Assistant Corps Marshal, Olusegun Ogungbemide, MNI. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Please, we have really enjoyed every bit of our stay with you. The remaining time we want to conclude and talk about it. And so please, dear viewer, who would like to have you make your calls, as we said, that will help us to understand what you want and the more. But if there is nothing you want to say, just keep listening. And it's on 080, as it's already there, 299 38365. 080 299 38365. Please do make your call. 0802 rather, please. Do make your call, and we'll be glad to receive it and to welcome you on the program. So, sir, let's come to you straight away while we wait for calls in case they come. Looking at what happens here, the members of the Federal Road Safety Corps, there are certain things we have already said before now. Please bear with me. We have already said that some of them are the way they behave on the way, maybe how to, maybe the, what word do I use? Discrepancies involved in certain things they do, that they are not doing the right thing all the time. Some of the times there could be people you could refer to as bad eggs that are found in everywhere. What do you do about such in the FRSC?
We are very much aware of them. And it's on record that in 2025 alone, about 47 of our staff were dismissed and terminated as a result of one infraction or the other. And this misconduct on the highway is also one of them. So we have zero tolerance to it, and it's quite unfortunate. I think it's just a reflection of the society.
Yes.
That they get indulged in some terrible things. There was a time I made a release telling members of the public not to bribe them, because it takes two to tango.
Yes.
Many Nigerians are so impatient that they don't even want, they want to buy their infraction at every moment, not making the statutory payments. I raised a slogan one time. I said, if you know you have committed an infraction, be a gentleman. Pay your fines or face the litigation and let it go. Don't look for a way to say, let me settle these boys. It's an indirect way of tempting those ones that don't have integrity and credibility
too. Blood in them.
Yes, because they have their own challenges they are facing. But why I don't always support them is that in Nigeria today, if there's any establishment that has never been suffered, if there's anything like that, or paid by salaries, it's FRSC. As a date, nobody in FRSC will say he has been deprived of his salary. So whatever you do out there is always between them and their family. That's why we don't look back. Important, there's no return syndrome in FRSC. Nobody is sent there to go and bring something back home. Whatever they collect, if they succeed in doing it that day, is between them and their family. So if you are there and you know you have committed, if anybody says, there was one incident that happened that someone said he committed an offense of seat belts and he paid 100,000 naira for. What did you kill somebody? How will you be so naive that you committed an offense? The first thing you ask for, yes, I've committed an offense, give me my tickets. Whatever that you have finds that is expected of you is written there. And you also have the right to say, I'm not going to pay any fines. Take me to court. The law still permits that, that you are taken to court if you believe there was a measure of injustice. So we have not kept quiet on that. We're also soliciting members of the public to also join us in fighting this battle. If anybody demands for bribe from you, please flag it.
Well, you have heard that. If anybody demands a bribe from you, please flag it. And don't forget to, if any staff of FRSC decides to deal with you because of the fact that you wanted to bribe him,
flag
also,
it.
You will also know
have the right.
Yes. Well, I must say that this is good. Honestly, this is good. Looking at, again, the FRSC, it's good news that they get paid and they've not bothered. But I want to just say, of course, everything that is good, you always look for something better.
Yeah.
I hope there is a kind of arrangement in the system that ensures promotion and effective reward for service.
Thank you very much. When Marshal Shehu Mohammed MNI came on board in May 2024, he came with his 6 policy trusts. That's training and retraining, alignment of our operational welfare, which is one of the major one I really want to talk on here.
Yes.
That the welfare of staff became so paramount to him. He had his blueprint before coming. It's not that he is an accidented leader.
Yes.
He was prepared to assume that role. And since he came, he said you cannot give what you don't have. Because even training and retraining is part of welfare.
Yes.
So you don't claim to be ignorant. And there are a series of promotions. Since he came, he has never missed any promotion process for the staff. And there's no staff that will sit up today and say he's been deprived of his allowances. I know the salary, like I said, is by the way. Nobody has been deprived of that. But the allowances that you feel is statutory, people are paid at the regular, at the appropriate time. So when it has to do with welfare under this regime, it's been perfect. That's why I say whoever that is out there perpetrating any evil is strictly on his own.
Okay, thank you so much. Community services. There are community services, schools, and other churches. Sometimes we see what you do concerning about that. Even you are the Chief Enlightenment Officer.
Yes, that's my area of strength. And well, that's actually my line of career in the last 32 years, and I have been so passionate about it.
Oh, that's good.
Because you know that there's nothing we can do on our own without the support of members of the public. And that was what brought about the wisdom of the founding fathers. They said this job cannot be done alone. Let's quickly solicit for support. And that's what gave back to special marshals. I'm sure you are very familiar with the FRSC has the largest number of volunteers because there are more than 100,000. We have the special marshal, we have the honorary special marshals, we have the celebrity special marshals, where we use the celebrities. Maybe you are going to be one very soon to reach out to, because they are the role model, and especially for the youth, they see them as anything they do is right. You know, in those days when they act all these films, they don't use seat belts, they don't use. We started, you know, engaging them. That is, the children are looking at you, so your use of the seat belt alone will send signal. They want to adopt it, and it really assisted. Now the one that is of concern now is the use of phone while driving. You know, in those days they will just act films, and they will be making calls and whatever they are acting is not related to that call. So we tell them these days that don't just use the call. Let it lead to a crash. And when you are talking about that crash, make reference to the call. That he was making call, he got distracted and there was a crash. It will send signal. So we made the best use of this community supports in that aspect. We have the volunteers outside the special marshals that are the first responders. Because the proximity to information, like I said earlier, is very important. While is there a crash occur, it sends, while he's attending to the man because he's been tutored on first aid, he sends message to FRSC for the bigger you play your role. When we talk of the road, you talk of the construction companies. It's not government that will tell a construction company to put signages when it's doing the construction. His own is to engage you, deliver this road intact for me. It's your responsibility to fix
through your office.
Thank you very much. They say you don't throw away the winning team. The forefathers have done so well, and we took over from them, and we are still trying to sustain the legacy. And like I rightly said, the legacy is the product of it is what we are seeing today. Reduction in death compared to where we started. More decent environments where you can wake up in the morning and be so rest assured that you can go out and come back home in good peace. And also, when you look at the area of rescue, I do imagine, assuming FRSC is not existing, because among all the agencies today, FRSC is the major agency that dipped its hand in blood, not as criminals, but in the course of trying to rescue people. What will have happened to because we still have to give respect to those that are unfortunate to be killed in the road traffic crashes. Will have been littered all over the places. And the number of lives we have saved by promptly attending to victims. So they are beyond measure. Even the area of enforcement, everybody that is arrested should celebrate that it will have been something else. And when you look at the number of vehicles that are plying Nigerian road on daily basis, we should know that truly with the introduction of technology, the policies that have been put in place, FRSC has done so well. And for advocacy, I recall in 2024, our theme was speak out against reckless driving. More passengers die more than drivers. We were able to reduce road traffic crashes by 10%.
That's good.
By virtue of that slogan. Because we come to realize that when a crash occurs, look at Anthony Joshua incident, the driver survived.
Yes, and it's two friends of his
got killed. So many times when you see mass death like that as a result of death, always look at it. The driver will always survive. So we started diverting our attention to commuters. It's not FRSC cannot be on all your routes. No. You are to serve as our ambassador in that vehicle you are. When the driver is misbehaving, because one of the major problems they also have in that vehicle is lack of unity. One will say hard to the speed. One will say, I'm not going to my grave. Before you know it, it will even distract the driver. You have to be united. When it's wrong, when it's going on high speed, tell him to stop. There was a particular year I was coming from Akwa Ibom. This man was going on 140. And I had reason to complain. Other members of the vehicle picked me up. So I had to call his base to complain, and they called him and warned him. Do you know what he did? He reduced the speed. We're just leaving the Onitsha Bridge, going to Lagos. He reduced the speed from 140 to 60.
Just being wicked.
Just to we got to Ijebu by 11 p.m. When I was alighting from the vehicle, I was already soaked with abuse by other passengers as being the cause. So when I came down, I said, well, I got to my own destination freely. As you are leaving, it's your choice now. Whatever you feel you want from the driver. So these are the major problems.
I must say that there was something you did that you didn't even identify yourself, because if you did, this one will stop talking.
No. At that moment, you know, when if you identify yourself as a road safety officer, you'll not be able to know the true color of the people. Because everything we do in FRSC is like a research. So I was just an individual, and I was able to know that these are the things these drivers do. And this is what they do to passengers. If I identify myself, the driver will have comported himself. And outside me, what will have happened to those innocent people? And you see some people, another fault we have is the moment they enter a vehicle, rather than engaging the driver positively, they will be sleeping.
Which is
I do joke over it that so many deaths we see, they don't even feel pains of death because they were sleeping and they are gone. Just a simple statement of greeting the driver could be the one that will alert that driver. Have you not noticed when you're on transit, when you look at the inner mirror, that most of the drivers struggle with sleep? You really don't know what he did through the night. They will say, no, I must engage myself, especially those that want to go and return. They're always on high speed. So these are the things that we need to engage all road users on the need. And when we see something that is not right, talking especially about this status of our roads, we have never failed in this responsibility. That is what our road survey does. I was coming from Ibadan to Lagos to Ibadan, getting to Oluyole, you know, that long road.
Yes.
Government did a perfect job there. The road used to be very terrible, but now good paving, you can close your eyes and drive. But I noticed there are some shortcomings, and immediately we call the sector commander in charge of that place, bring up this report, so that because the government that gave the job to this man might not have seen that. Yes. But we are the professionals. When we see, that is the interface, that is the handshake we have. It's not everybody, it's everybody's responsibility. If everybody play his own role properly, all of us will always achieve that vision of creating a safe motoring environment for Nigeria. It's not my responsibility to monitor the kind of vehicles that come into this country. No, some of the trucks that are in this country are more than 30 years. And they want to use them as if they are new vehicles. Some of the tankers that are supposed to be calibrated in a better are being manufactured under unconducive or illegal condition. That at every puncture you see fuel leaking from the tanker. Somebody is giving the mandate to monitor all those things. And these are the things that create the problem we engage. So what we do is that we interface with our stakeholders. That is the way forward. One, realizing that the battle against road traffic crashes is not just about FRSC. There are so many stakeholders that are involved. The owner of the road, the owner of the vehicle, and even the man himself. The one that wakes up in the morning and refuses to put his vehicle in order is a human error. The one that knows that this thing is wrong and he did not nip it is the one that commits an offense and decides to bribe the law enforcement agency, and the one that collected. So they are all involved. So the moment the better we realize that all of us will have to put our hands down and say, let us tackle this problem. And that is why the Western wars are better than for it.
Whoa. Assistant to call Marshal Olusegun Ogungbemide.
Thank you.
The Public Education Officer of the Federal Road Safety Commission. If it were possible for me to stand, I would have loved to stand and to give you my salute.
I will have returned it. Thank you very
so much for sharing the moments with us.
Thank you very
how
much.
How time flies. You won't even know that we have spent 1.5 hours talking and sharing things.
It's worth it.
It's been a great pleasure sharing the moments with you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
And the good work you're doing, keep it up, sir.
Thank you very much.
We have enjoyed every bit of it, and we wish you even the very best as you'll be celebrating your 38th year in existence in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Oh, well, dear viewer, this is how we'll bring to an end this program for today. I believe you've enjoyed every bit of it, especially that must have been why nobody called, because everything came on the way it ought to be. I want to thank you for watching. And of course, one other thing is that this program, even as we have gone on, it's been streamed live on all our social media networks, so that from any part of the world, people would watch and get to understand the great things and the great work that FRSC is doing in Nigeria. Well, what else do we do than to wish them the very best, because they are still moving ahead. They've been moving close to perfection as the years go by. Thank you for watching. I want to say to Sanusi Adebayo, thank you for being there. I also want to say to everyone else that has been around, including Sam Amaji, thank you all for being there. Victor Chizea, thank you. And we won't forget to say that we've also had some orders that I may not really be able to mention all, but we've got a huge team with whom I've worked today. Let me thank all of you, including my editor for today too. Let the very best happen to all of you. Well, on behalf of everyone that has been here, I'm not forgetting Ruben Okala, the head of station. This is Okechukwu Onubogu. And what have I got to say? May the very best happen to us all the time.